Dana, and welcome to our Sunday craft and chat. I'm running a little bit late, but you know what? It's all good. Sundays are when we kind of get stuff done around the house, and so that's what I was in the middle of doing. So your girl got to finish her chores before she gets to play. So I'm gonna sort of work on my desk because it is a mess. I'll show you what I worked on this week for my personal curriculum of learning how to paint watercolor. And then I'm going to hopefully get some stuff done. So actually, as I'm moving stuff, I'm going to show you a couple things that I got in. And I didn't do an unboxing, but there were a couple of things that I needed. So the first thing that I got was these 12B pencils. I don't know, honestly, what the difference is, but almost every single class that I've taken always recommends this on the list. I usually just use a mechanical pencil because we always get like a box of them for the office, and so I just use a mechanical pencil. But I'm curious to see if I notice the difference. So I got these. I also got these craft sponges. Now, they did not look like this when I got them in the package. They were all like super like squished and compact, like if you've ever bought like pillows or something like that from Amazon, that's how they looked. But I got these because I wanted to use them whenever I'm working and wanted to like wick some of the moisture from my brushes. Also, I've seen people use these as an option for mark making, and I want to sort of give that a try. So I got these. It came quite a few to a pack. A lot of these are going to go into my craft storage container, but I got these. Another thing that I got is I got a pack of these blending brushes. And these are, you can get them either as makeup brushes, or you can get them as, what are these called? Like card making. I think they consider blending brushes. Y'all listen. I don't remember if I told y'all last week, but I did some stamping. No. Yeah, I did stamping and stenciling with watercolor. I loved it so much. And I used one of these brushes. But one of the things that I noticed is it can stain just a little bit. Hello, I hope you're doing well. It can stain a little bit, so I wanted to get a pack of them where if they stained a little bit, I could just use that brush for that color or that color family. And so, hello, I'm doing great. How are you? And so I got a pack of these. They were they were all right. But the thing that is different about these, so when I did it at the time, I put a brush at first, I put watercolor on the palette, and I sort of just coated it. And then it got one of the blending brushes. And what you do is you sort of dip it in the watercolor and then tap off the excess, and then you can rub it over the stencil, and it looks really good. So let me show you some examples. All of this stenciling was done with watercolor. Also, you can't, it's really faint in the back, but I did stenciling here as well. And so what I did is, here are some more too. Like this teal, that was done with watercolor as well. Now, I thought when I came back in and did other watercolor on top that it would affect it, or that it would reactivate the watercolor, and it didn't do too bad. So if you look in this section, the stamping stayed pretty well, even though I went back and tried to add more watercolor. Now, y'all, don't pay attention to this paper. This paper was whack, but overall, the technique works. There's a woman on YouTube, and her first name starts with a J, and her last name I think is Hernandez. I can't remember, but just look up watercolor, stenciling with watercolor. And so it does really well. Also, when you use the blending brush, it keeps the watercolor from sort of slipping underneath the stencil and causing puddling. So as long as you remove the excess, it works really, really well. So I got a package of these, and I think it's like 12 brushes. And so that, I'm really excited about that. The last thing, oh no, the last two things that I got this week that came in is I got this black ink. And it is Black Ink 60. I have not opened it yet. It's done by Kiritaki, and I believe that's how you say the name. And I am starting to really like their paints. They feel like a great quality. The price isn't bad. And they are just beautiful colors. So I kind of feel like I'm going to get more. I need something sharp. And of course, I don't have anything sharp over here. Let me see what this will do. And so I plan to try this ink out. And I want to try this ink out because I want to try it with mark making using either a dip pen. I might try a nib. Essentially just allowing me to do some mark making, slow down. And that's what I'm going to do on these because I don't like the paper. The paper was way too thin. I don't like it at all. So here it is. And this is supposed to, it says dry quickly sumo ink for magna drawing. Water-based pigment, smudge proof with alcohol-based markers. So I'll try that. The final thing I think was, and I don't think I showed this, is I got this palette in. And what I mean by in, y'all, I bought it, so didn't nobody send it to me. However, I absolutely love it. I mentioned last week in the live how I don't like plastic, and I find that I really like porcelain or ceramic, which is, I mean, now I'm realizing it's common, but when I bought the other ones, I didn't know. All right. And so, thank you. Thanks. And so I got this palette in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 wells. I like them because they have a nice depth. I can utilize like the slant of the side to remove excess paint from the paintbrush, and it's a nice weight and it's a nice size. I purchased another ceramic palette, which was this one. And this was when I first got started, and it is so tiny that I haven't tried it with traveling. I'm gonna try it with traveling, but it's so tiny that I never use it. And I don't like the metal ones like this. And I don't know why. Maybe I'll give it a try again, but I don't really care for them. I really do like the porcelain. And I think that's it. So for my class this week, when I took my watercolor class, this is the painting that I did this week. Can you believe it? I am loving this watercolor class. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to start getting ready to do something. I'm loving the watercolor class. I feel like it was a really great investment. The people who are running it, it's done through Willa Wanders. You can find her on YouTube. I think the website is Willa Wanders something. Yeah, I think it's .com or something, because it's done through Teachable. But she has a lot of classes, and I haven't done any of her classes yet that I was disappointed in. So so if you're looking for a class, look for her. You can also find her on YouTube if you look up. She has a book called, what does she call them? Willa something. Willa books, Willa something. I'll just say this. Look up Willa Wanders. And I think it's Wanders with an O. If you look her up, you'll find her. When I created my watercolor journal. It was one of her classes. She also has other instructors that's on her platform, and that is how I'm taking the current watercolor class. The current watercolor class is with Elaine. I'm going to get her book. I don't know if you can still sign up for it. If you're interested, I would say look into it, because even if you miss some of the earlier classes, you get access to the replays for a lifetime. And we still have, like, I think maybe 6 weeks or something like that in the class. And what we're doing is essentially going through this entire book. It's called Wild Watercolor. I'm going to see if I can find the things that we've done so far. So I signed up for this class to sort of get me started with watercoloring, and I have not been disappointed. And it's been a really great class. I don't think I'm gonna do watercolor projects like this again in the future because it's just way too much concentration, but I'm enjoying myself. So we did this painting. We did almost all of our pieces are smaller. They're not as big as they are in the book. So we did that piece. Oh, here it's all on one page. And the book did not come spiral bound. I did it myself. We also did this painting. And every week, just about, we probably finish, I'd say we probably do 2 or 3 paintings every class. And so that has been interesting. We've done this painting. We did, and we're not doing them in order, which has been interesting. We did this painting. We did this painting. This was one of my favorites. It's so cool coming back through here and seeing these. Oh, we did this painting. And she walks us through all of them. We did this painting, but mine looks nothing like that. My winged mentality sort of took over. We did this painting, and mine did not look anything like that. So I need to do that one again. We did this one, but I didn't do it. I was there, but I just didn't feel like it. We did this painting, and I absolutely loved it. I love doing this one. The technique for doing the flowers was so cool. We did this one, but mine looked and busted. Listen, flowers and leaves seem to be like the end of me. We did this one. This was so much fun. It was deceptively hard. It looks really easy, but yeah. Who knew like doing washes would be sort of like a challenge? I think they're kind of hard. We did this painting. The book makes it really nice because you get the step out process. We did this painting. We did the small version though, and I absolutely love this one. I enjoyed that one. And now we're starting to get to some of these harder ones. I think this is the one we're doing this week. I think we're doing the bird, and I think we're doing a hummingbird. They did the butterfly. They did this one, and I haven't done it yet. I was traveling that day, so I need to go back. And I also haven't done the feather, but we did this one. And I think we're gonna do this dragonfly this week because we're not going in order. We did this one, I believe. And then this is the one that I just showed you. We did that one. And we did this tree one, but I didn't do it. Whenever we have a class and I'm tired, I usually just pick one project that I know I want to do, and I just work on that the whole time if it's too much switching around, because I'm really slow. And I found out last week that quite a few students come to the class and they just watch and maybe do something else, and then they come back and do the paintings later. And this coming week, I might try that, but I feel like I got enough paper to test out in the class, that if I do it and I don't like it, I can end up doing something else with it. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with all these little paintings. I don't know. We also did this one, but I didn't do, no, did I do this one? No, I didn't do this one. We did this one last week, but I didn't do it. I realized I don't really like flowers that much. I don't really like landscapes that much. I like the simple flowers. I don't like the flowers where you have to do like a whole bunch of layers. I also realized that I don't really care for landscapes. They're not bad. I think she's a great instructor. The fact that she's doing all of this virtually, and everyone is doing such a beautiful job. And so we're almost done with the book. Again, her name is Elaine. And this book I got on Amazon. I spiral bound it myself, but yeah. And in the class, she gives us, well, I don't know if she did it or a student did it, but we got all the like things to trace. And so yeah, it's been a really great class. And we started, I think it was the first week of January. I think it was the first week of January that we started, and we are still going, and it's now in March. And I believe we finish, I think we finish in the end of April, because I believe it's 16 weeks. So it's been well worth it. I've totally enjoyed it. So what do I want to work on today? I have like 30 minutes. I sketched something out that I was going to paint, but I don't want to do that. I sort of want to work on my swatch book. I started it last week with you all. I think I want to do that. I realized, oh, this was that one painting. I haven't gone back in and added in my like lines, but I need to. I started my swatch book last week. One of the things that I decided this week was that I want to create a project. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a nice sketchbook. And this is coming from a person that has a million books. I know I do. But I want to do one sketchbook. I'm just sort of, this is supposed to lay flat. So I'm just sort of going in and sort of helping this lay flat. I want to get one sketchbook. I haven't been able to find one that has watercolor paper that has enough pages, which I'm starting to realize is normal because watercolor paper is so thick. But I want to get one sketchbook and just fill it and make that like mine. You know how like when you're in school, when I was in undergrad, we had like a capstone project. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that, like a capstone project. And I don't know why doing the first pages always makes me feel so nervous, because I really don't know what to do. So I just go a few pages in so that I'm not nervous about messing something up. I think what I'm going to do is do the Kiratakis first. I love these watercolors. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to just swatch them. I want to swatch all of my watercolors. There are some that, these I've done once before, but I want them in here. I also have some sets that I've never done before. And I want it to be fun and to be able to come back to this and reference it when it's time for me to pick colors. So I'm not going to mark the color yet. I'm going to use this Uniball Air to mark the color names if they're possible. I do have a circle stencil, but you know what? I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to just, every time I think I want to freehand it, it doesn't work out well because I don't know how to do it enough. Okay, let me get a stencil. Do I have a stencil? Let's see here. I think I have, yeah, I had it on my desk before, but when I traveled and I took everything with me, or took stuff with me, I realized I haven't put everything back yet. So let me look in here. This is my little supplies. I just need something. Have to just like freehand it. I know. Y'all, just a second. I should warn y'all. Y'all, I'm in my house clothes, so. Okay, this has circles, squares. I don't want to do squares. I think I'm just going to do circles and maybe try to do something with them later. Last time when I did this, I used the a graphite, and I don't like it because it sort of got too dark. So I'm going to try the 12B pencil that I just got. While you're watching, let me know what you are working on if you are crafting at the same time. There we go. So, I didn't bring it over. However, this week, I made some great progress on my rag quilt. I've started putting together the rows, and oh. That looks interesting. Okay. This one, I believe, is 24 colors. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is. It's 24. I don't want it to look like plain, but I don't know how to turn it into something that's not plain. So I'm just gonna... Number one, whenever I'm doing swatch cards, I don't know how you're supposed to do them. I find that having the colors in the order that they are in the pan helps me to make quick decisions, because I'm finding that none of these colors look like in the pan the way they look on the page. So what that means to me is I'm going to try to do 4 down because this page is so small. Let me see if I can get away with 4. This may be too big. I'm gonna see. I don't know if I can get 4 in on this. I guess I'm just gonna have to, oh, it's not gonna fit. Well, one of the things that we did last week is I organized my watercolor markers. Oh no, I don't like this. It doesn't erase. I don't like that. I'm gonna try the little. Oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna use that in here. It doesn't erase well enough. I think I'm gonna stick to Maybe I'll just use it for sketching. I don't know, because this is not going to work. Okay. Last week when we, on the live, I worked on my watercolor markers. Let me get them. Just a second, y'all. I always feel like I'm leaving y'all unattended. And I'm wondering if I can do the same thing when I do the swatches. So it was someone on the, hey, working on hand piecing. Awesome. Ooh. I was looking at, I don't know how to say it, Shashiku book. And those stitches and those patterns are so beautiful. Okay, last week someone helped me come up with an idea for organizing. Well, not for organizing, for marking these markers. And ooh, see, this sucks. Oh, I may have to put extra tape. So what I end up doing was I have all of them labeled. And it took me a little while, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm so glad. Actually, I could start with this. I'm gonna start with this. No, I don't want to start with this. Do I want to start with this? What I did is I just did 1 through 24. And then I also marked the pan with the row so that I can easily come in and use colors and put them back. I think I'm going to do these. I think I'm going to do these, but I'm not going to use this 12B pencil. I don't trust it on this paper. The erasing didn't lift enough. Hey, lady. Oh, you're working on a baby blanket, crocheting or quilting or knitting? Okay. Y'all, I really should have been ready, but I didn't get a chance to think about it. So I'm going to just, you know what? I'm going to do those, because if I do those, it doesn't matter if the colors are together because there's no way to maintain that. So I'm just going to do a pan at a time. I'm just going to do a pan at a time, starting with A. Crochet. Awesome. Do you have someone you're giving it to, or you're just making it? I may have to go back and put tape on these. This is letting me know that that labeler, either the tape isn't very sticky or the sticking part with this marker just don't get along. I'll do it as I go through. So, I was about to say, oh, my rag quilt. So I've been working on the rag quilt. I've started putting together the rows. Okay, so as I've been working on this rag quilt, I don't think I'm going to ever do another rag quilt, ever. This has been the craziest roller coaster. I thought it was going to be done fast. And I thought I was going to have it done by the Super Bowl. We see that didn't happen. And part of it is my fault. The other part of it is realizing that I don't really like quilt as you go. And I didn't know that. I always thought about doing quilt as you go so that I could do free motion quilting before I got my long arm. So I always wanted to try it. But what I'm realizing is when it's time to put those blocks together, it's like wrestling. You are wrestling with that thing, and I do not like that. I don't like it. Oh, what if I made it sort of like tumbling something? So I just need 24 of these on here. You know what? I'm not doing this. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this on the paper. Then I'm going to do it a little bit and try it with water to see how it sort of diffuses out. So I'm going to use, I want a smaller brush, maybe like a 2 or a 4. Yeah, so whenever you're trying to get all of that underneath the I don't know why. I really like these brushes, but there's a couple of them that the tips don't look as pointed to me. I think I'm gonna try this one. I haven't tried this one. I got a couple of sets that I just haven't tried before. This is a round size 12. I'm gonna move my coffee out of the way so I do not accidentally dip my brush in my coffee. And so yeah, I don't think I'll do it again. But with that said, it's going beautifully. I think I'm putting it together backwards, and it was just honestly out of the sheer fact of I don't know what I'm doing and I'm making it up. And the craziest part about me and making this up is the simple fact that I watched a couple tutorials, but I didn't save them. I just looked at it and said, oh, I want to do that. Y'all, it's a hot mess. It is a hotmess.com. And I just keep a little bottle of distilled water. And then usually what happens is my clean water turns into my dirty water for the next session. And so that's what I just do. So yeah, I just don't know if, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just know that for real talk, I don't really care for these markers either. That's another reason why I've been wanting to just try them. I'm just going to mark it. I don't know what else to do with it. So with the, I don't even know if that's going to work. We're about to find out. Now, this is a part of all of this that you just got to be okay with not knowing what you're doing, which is not always the funnest journey, but you know what? You only live once. Ooh. Okay. So when I talk about the, oh, okay, that's not that bad. Not really knowing what I'm doing for the rag quilt. So for example, on one side I have cotton and on the other side I have fleece. And I did it because, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's like I put the color down right, and then you can use the watercolor brush. I'm gonna show you, and it looks like it's dissolving it maybe. I don't know if that's the right word. See how it looks? It looks crazy. It looks crazy. I don't like it. So I have cotton. I have just regular cotton fabric. Then I have the fleece. And then at this time, I decided to do batting. Now, we love blankets. Like, we love quilts where they have the, I always get fleece and flannel mixed up. So if I interchange it, I just charge it to my head, not my heart. The fleece backing, because whenever you get ready to like take a nap with them, they are so soft and so cozy. But this is my first time putting batting with it. I've never put batting with it. And usually it's because When I've done it before in the past, I was making quilts for my kids and I would let them choose and they didn't want the batting. So this is the first time that I'm doing it. So you have that cotton, you have that fleece, and you have the batting, and I'm putting it all together. Now, I made the top and the backing bigger than the batting so that when I sew them together, but that is 4 pieces of fabric, 2 of the fleece, and then 2 cotton. So going across those is insane. And then by the time you start putting it all together, in one of my rows is, I think I'm doing 7 by 9. So 7 rows across that are 10 inches, 10 and a half inches. I think they're 10 and a half inches. Listen, I am the fabric wrangler. I cannot even wrap my head around when it's going to be time to do the rows and connect the rows. I think it's going to be insane. I will not do this again. I will not do this again. I haven't even got to the clipping part. So, hence, oh, y'all, I let this dry. Why does this look so good? Watercolor can be deceptive. Watercolor can be so deceptive. You can do watercolor, and when it's wet, you think, I hate this. I can't stand this, is what you think. You come back later, and it's like drying in time turned it into a masterpiece. What did I do? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to put the color towards the top corner and then the bottom edge. And I'm going to see what I do with that. So yeah, am I going to keep going? I am. I honestly feel like I feel this way right now, but I think that when it's all said and done, that it is going to turn into a family favorite. I really do think it will, because it is the very thing that's going to make it a pain. I don't like these. I'm not going to do the rest of these. Oh, this is a pain. It is a pain. I think it's going to turn into a family favorite. Like, you know how you have the blanket that you are, whenever you're in that, like anybody's watching a movie or something like that, that everybody reaches for. I think it's going to be that type of, I'm going to try this. I think it's going to be that type of a, blanket that everyone just loves and everybody goes after. But at the end of the day, it's going to be my husband's. And it has to be his because I made him another quilt and I took over it. So I owe him a new quilt. I'm totally rubbing this and probably going to just kill the paper. I don't like this, y'all. But you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm not going to do this whole set, though. I'm going to do this side and see if I can make myself find a way to do it in a way that I like. But I'm finding that I don't really care for these markers. I do like doing them in color books, I found. But, okay, let me try something different. That one turned out good. This one turned out basic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm going to keep going though. I'm going to keep working on it until it's done, and take lots of notes. I really should have wrote out more of what I was doing, but I thought as I was doing it, I was making everything pretty standard, and I wasn't. I wasn't. Why? I don't know. I just was sitting up there. I was just making something, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I was just making it. And now I'm gonna just have to deal with the consequences. I wonder what will happen if I put the water down first. I'm gonna put the water down first to see if it makes a difference. And honestly, this also could be this paper. That's the other thing that I'm learning about watercolor. It's like your paper, when you pick paper, it makes such a huge difference. No, I think this might be the paper. I think it might be the paper. Now, when you put down, I don't like this either. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to see. So I'm going to keep working on this quilt. In the end, it's going to be around 80 by 90 inches, maybe somewhere around in there. It's going to be a nice size. And I have a feeling that I'm going to have a whole lot of opinions about it when I get to the end, because doing all of this, and yeah, no, this is not it for me. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's this paper, though. I think the paper is... I didn't keep the thing. I need to check. I think it's a 300 GSM. Let me just try a piece of regular watercolor paper. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do... I think this marker doesn't like this heavier paper. When I got these, I thought they were, I don't know what I thought they were. I think I got them as a gift, honestly. Yeah, that's not it. That is not it. How many? I got like less than 10 minutes. I just want to do something that at least feel like I salvage this or something because this is ridiculous. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just add I'm gonna wet the palette just a little bit. And see if I can just do something, because this is not the business. I don't know what else to do. And you know what? It could be this brush. It's too many factors. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of this brush, and I'm gonna use a brush that I'm familiar with. I'm gonna use this one. And then I'm gonna see. I'm gonna use this palette right here. I'm gonna just use it just in case, because I don't know if I'm gonna need it, but okay, this one, just this little flower one. I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna add this on there and see if I like it. So with that said, that's all that I have for this week. Oh, something else that I did this week. How many? Okay, I have a few more minutes. Is I've been working on my new book, and that has been going really nicely. I am having a lot of fun with it. I haven't fully got into the full writing yet. I'm waiting to finish working on, ooh, I wonder if I can get a little bit of another color. Hold on. I realize I think I use too much water when I'm doing watercolor. I think I use too much water, but this is what happens, I find, whenever you're doing a class like this and you're doing it online and you are not in person, because somebody is not there to sort of help you correct. So it's sort of like you just learn through trial and error. And right now I'm just doing something. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna see if I can, like this color right here. In here, it looks like it's a teal, but on paper, it looks like it's green. Sort of just. So yeah, that was this. This week was just, I felt like it went by super fast. Like that I looked up and all of a sudden my week was over. I love this color. It was like, it was all of a sudden, it was all done. And then here we are on Sunday. One of the things that I've been noticing too is like, I've been wanting to, the class that I'm taking has been really instrumental in me noticing the things that I don't really like. That now I'm really curious about what I would like. And I still don't fully know what that is. I think it's gonna be more like abstract, but I don't know if I have the like creative mind to pull abstract off. So that does give me a little bit of pause, because I don't know. I have yet to fully do a project. Well, actually, I was about to say that I feel like I did like on my own in my mind that I really liked, but I don't. I was about to say that, but I don't think that's true. This one, it doesn't really bloom. See, this is, I don't like this paint palette. I don't know if I'm not using enough water or I'm not making it dense enough, but it doesn't like do blooms very well. And that's the part I really like, is when okay, yeah, I'm just gonna, honestly, what I'm doing over here, you can't see. I'm just gonna fill this page with water and color. That's it. I don't know. Just gonna fill it. And hope I can find a way to get some blooms. You know what? It probably means I need more water. But whenever I add more water, I always feel like it gets so messy. And maybe that's what it's supposed to do, but I just don't know. I don't know. I sort of feel like this is where I think the quality of your watercolors comes in, because I think it makes me want to like do more experiments with like my Daniel Smith colors. I haven't pulled them out yet, and I'm not even gonna tell a fib. I have not pulled them out because I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. Them colors are expensive, and I just feel like I don't want the pressure of feeling like it's gotta look like something. I am still picking colors that I really like, but I am not, I just haven't been, I guess, basically bold enough to, I think I'm mixing these colors up and I may be messing them up. I hope not. So who knows? I think maybe that's what I should do. Like I should pull out, I bought this like, for one of my classes, I bought one of the Daniel Smith like color cards, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna just be like, whatever, YOLO, and just start using every color on there until I start seeing what I really like. This is gonna actually be kind of pretty. Hey, how are you today? I'm gonna finish like just painting across the back of this card. I've been sort of, I don't want to say collecting, but putting together these where they're like gonna, I guess, end up being like backgrounds that I want to eventually cut up and turn them into affirmation cards, so that it sort of makes this process of creating feel not so, it doesn't like have to be anything major. You know what I mean? Awesome. Like I can just sort of go with whatever I'm feeling. And this color right here is my absolute favorite color in this palette. That color right there, it is so pretty. I love it. It is just so rich and, oh no. And it's just rich and yummy. And I just love it. I don't know. I think this is probably the one, oh, dang it, Dana, that I will go back to over and over again in this palette because it's just so pretty. Okay, so with that said, I'm gonna try my best this week to make the decision about my my sort of like capstone project. Like, I think I'm gonna just look for a sketchbook. Now, I was gonna look for a sketchbook, and then this morning, when I was gonna sit down and sort of just spend a little time just looking on Amazon, I remembered my handmade journals. And now the downside, I do have my drop in the pond. I still need to quilt it though. I do. But I have the handmade journals that I did. And I was like, I could use that for this project that I'm talking about. But none of that paper in there is watercolor paper. And I just don't know if it will hold up. It is, I did use a lot of mixed media paper. It's not all mixed media paper, but I did use it. Okay. This actually didn't turn out too bad. I feel like a couple of the places I would want to put a little. I feel like I'm breaking some of the watercolor rules, y'all. I don't know. I wonder if those would spread more. I feel like I want to just make a real sort of dense and sort of like put some, hold on. I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put a little bit of that color that I really like, because it's so dark. It honestly feels like it doesn't even belong in this palette. And it granulates. Oh, it just looks so pretty. I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I'm just sort of going back in. I just find sometimes I like to sort of like mess around where the colors meet, especially this area right here where I used that watercolor marker, because it just looks like, yeah. And I know I could be just messing it up, but What else is a girl to do? Again, I'm just gonna like let this dry, and then the plan is to use the other side to make affirmation cards. Y'all, and once I'm finished, I'll put it over and lay it flat, and then we'll see from there. So with that said, I'm gonna find something to do my project in. I might utilize my, you know what, hold on, y'all. These are the ones that I made. And the paper that I put in these are mixed media paper. This one I still need to come in and do a better job with the binding. The journal covers are quilted. This book I hand sewed the signatures in. I'm gonna just see what will happen if I put a little bit of this watercolor paint on this regular paper. I don't think it's gonna take it very well, but this paper that I put in here, it's not the thinnest paper, but it's not watercolor paper. I think it's a 32 pound. I don't think it's gonna do very well with this. So this may not be the best. But sometimes what happens is I think that, and then what happens is once I finish and it dries, that it actually works out better than I thought it was in the first place. So I'm just gonna do a little bit, and what I may need to do is just make the paint thicker, like use less water, I think. I don't know. I'm just gonna, y'all, I really wish I knew. But for now, yeah, that is better. Okay. Yeah, like even if though I'm doing a wash, making it a little bit thicker, knowing that it's just not gonna, it's not gonna fully absorb like I want it to. Ooh, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. But we're gonna roll with it. Cause I mean, like, how else am I gonna learn? I'm just filling it up. I'm almost making it as if it was like, I guess, like a thicker sort of consistency. And I know this particular page that I'm putting it on is probably not the best page to put it on because it already is coffee stained. But what I want to do is just sort of see what happens when I put it on and then let it air dry. It's moist, but it's not going through. I have no idea what's happening. I'm just probably making it like a little bit, yeah, making it a little bit on the thicker side and just putting it on the pan. And then I'm just gonna fill this one page. And then I'm gonna try my absolute best to remember to come back next week, when I come back next week, to show you guys how it dried, to see if I like it. This particular journal, it was made with a lot of like leftover paper that I already had, like from old manuscripts, old planners. So it's not at all meant for this sort of like mixed media at all. Not this paper that I'm doing right now. But I feel like if I learned how to do the right amount of texture, that it could still work. Because at the end of the day, when I first started doing like experimenting with watercolor, it was on Bible pages. Bible pages are super thick. I mean thin. Super thick. Super thin. And so it tells me that if I can get it to work on, now granted, it was not regular watercolors. It was like watercolor pencils. But it was still on Bible pages. Y'all, this may be how I use up all this paint right in this pen that I don't like. Okay, I just finished this whole like page. I'll show you in just a second. The thing that I don't like about when you don't use watercolor paper is that you don't get a lot of the other fun stuff like the blooms and stuff like that, but you do get color. So we'll see. I'm gonna let it dry. It's like moist, but it's not bleeding through or anything. And I find that I like when it gets that like little crinkly sound, like that gives it texture. So I kind of, all right. I kind of want to put just a little bit on this side because I plan to do some writing. And then and see how it turns out. So with that said, I think that's it for today. Let me know what you're working on. Oh yeah, it's going all the way through on this page. See, that's the other part about when I use these journals. Like every page, for the most part, is a different page or like type of paper. I didn't use all the same paper. I used papers that I just had around. And it shows. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna try these just to see what happens, because I'm having a feeling I'm only gonna end up using these on coloring books because these are so wet. Like, I don't understand. What am I supposed to do with them? I'm gonna figure it out though. That might be it. It's just too much liquid though. Oh, and that did bleed through. Ooh, okay. So I'm learning. I'm learning. This, I mean, you just gotta learn how to use your tools and what works and what doesn't. I think this is like teaching me about like, you cannot be in a hurry to learn something like this, because at the end of the day, it sort of just takes the time that it takes. And the moment you change your supply, you change your paper, you change your brush, it can change everything. I couldn't imagine if somebody, I guess they probably just sell like after everything is done. I don't like this paper. I think this is a very thin page though. It feels like it's like a regular copy paper. This one held up better, but I know that one is like a 32-pound paper. And then I have like really thin paper, and I probably would do that with mostly pencils. Is this whole thing? It is. What would I do though? Oh, a baby blanket for a coworker. You crochet, knit, or quilting. This does teach me though that in the future, if I plan on adding watercolor, that I am going to make sure that I do at least mixed media paper. At least mixed media paper, or else you run the risk of like not being able to use it, or you have to layer it to work. Because this is not gonna work. What else could I do? I could put something on top. I just wanted to do it. Crochet. Awesome. You're the second person that was crocheting today. That's so nice. Are you like just getting started, or are you almost done? Just started. Awesome. I used to do so many crochet baby blankets. I don't anymore. I have the one crochet blanket that I'm working on, and I find that the bigger it gets, the more I have to plan to work on it because it is so big. But I'm not in a hurry. Like, I think I know who I want to give it to, but I'm not sure yet. So it really is just something to stitch and listen to audiobooks or ooh. I promise you, these colors never look like what they look like in the pan. This page is literally falling apart before my very eyes. And I'm just adding more on here. But the color, oh, and I'm just adding more. but I'm adding more because if I don't, it won't look right. Like facing each other on the page. So I'm like, what else can I do but to keep going? Ooh. Like, what are you gonna do with them? Like like add to them? Like, ooh. I used to love to add crochet edges on quilted blankets. Oh man. Or even add to it like you know, some like their name, or like to mix those two together. They just make for very interesting texture differences. I think what I could actually do with this, even though it looks a little bit crazy right now, is to come back with watercolor pencils. I think that would make a difference. Okay. I'm just going to let it dry. I'm going to let it dry. I don't think this is going to be the option though. I don't think it's going to give me what I want. I think in here it's going to have to be less water, so watercolor is not going to be the thing for here. And for this paper, what did I use in this journal? I have mixed media, 32 pound. Okay, this one maybe actually could take it. I have thicker paper, mixed media paper, but a lot of these pages are already colored. What I could do is I could do watercolor stamping. Or stencils. Yeah. I'm actually going to put a note in here to try it once it dries. Oh, that is good. Like, put it together like in a basket or a gift basket. Oh, this is what I'm going to try here. I wonder how these would do. Do stamping. I wonder. I'm going to just put this little note in here so I don't forget that that's what I want to try. And I sort of a little bit. I'm going over just a little bit in time. I don't think, I'm now realizing that there's like 3 colors in there that I really like. And other than that, I usually have, I don't. Hold on. I gotta get a stencil. I want to just try it. I want to try it just once, at least once. I have a box of stencils over here. I'm gonna get this stencil and I'm gonna also get just some I have this scratch paper if I need to put it between these pages. I usually, this is sometimes they're like old manuscripts or drafts of course material that I'll end up, I'm gonna just go in and try to go to, I'm just gonna go in a little bit. I probably should really let this dry. I don't have a whole lot of faith in what I'm about to do right now. but being that they are not proving useful for anything else, I'm just going to take this and I'm just scribbling it. How long? Not long, okay? I first started doing watercoloring a couple of years back, but it was when I was doing Bible journaling. So what I'm realizing is that it was different because the paper was different. And as a part of me starting to do my personal curriculum stuff, what I knew I was going to do was I wanted to learn watercolor. And I had started doing some watercolor before that, but I wanted to find a class or something. So at first I started taking these one classes through Willow Wonders, and I was talking about her earlier. I took some classes through her, and I don't think that was enough. I don't know if that was enough. I don't know if I did enough. What did I do with the stencil? Dang it, Dana. What did I do with it? Y'all, this should, oh, here we go. I don't think I put enough paint. But I started taking these online classes with ooh. Okay. I started taking the classes through Willow Wanders, and when I started taking the classes through her, she had, I'm going to just reactivate some of this so that I don't have to try something else. These right here are proven to be absolutely useless, and I should be sad because I have all of these colors, but they do work with color books. So I might end up just having to use them in color books, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to keep trying, though. I already have them. The great thing is I got them on sale, and that's probably why they were on sale. Okay, I'm going to just activate this teal because I know I'm going to like it. So I started taking the class through Willow Wanders, and then I took a couple of her classes. I took one that I really liked that was for making her Willow journal. That's what it's called. Because it was something that I wanted to do already for with my quilting. I wanted to make some quilting handmade journals, and she had a segment where she talked about if you wanted to use fabric, and I made adjustments to be able to compensate for the fact that I wanted mine to not just have fabric, but that I wanted it to be quilted. And being that I already knew how to quilt, I just needed to know how to do the rest of the construction, and that turned out really good. So that's what those journals that I just showed you. Okay, I'm taking this blending brush, and I'm sort of just like damping it into the watercolor. Now listen, this thing is like drinking. And I'm just going to use this stencil to see. And I just really enjoyed her classes. And so when she announced the class that I'm in right now, which is with, what is her, Karen Elaine, which would be going on this whole year, I thought it would have been perfect to take this class with them as a part of my personal curriculum to learn how to do watercolor. And I have been right. Oh. I absolutely love whenever I'm doing this these lives that something something works. Something works the way I want it to work. Oh my gosh. Because it's like, for real. This might be how I use these books. Because this is watercolor. It's not heavy. It's really light. I literally have used almost all this little watercolor that was on the, that I activated. I'm just sort of kind of blending these edges out. I'll show you guys. Okay, this makes me feel excited. I think it's pretty too. I could even did a little bit of like green or something. I have a little bit of green here. This is what was left over when we did a class the other day. When I did those trees. I don't know. I found that I would activate or like have the water and sort of activate it and then sort of move the brush around in the paint and tap off any excess. And then I just keep brushing it on the paper until it just sort of goes, until it looks almost like you can't see anything. Because these little blending brushes absorb a lot of liquid. So I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll just sort of get used to it. And then this particular stencil probably wasn't the best stencil to pick because it doesn't do a good job of repeats, but I plan to put words over it, so. Okay, I'll show you in just a second. And then this will be it. Okay, I think I salvaged this. This paper that I'm putting it on right now is a heavier paper. It's a look at this, and it's not all like liquidy on the stencil. Oh, that is such a great technique. I'm just sort of like seeing if I can get the rest of it off of here. Last time when I did it, I just rinsed it off with water and it did pretty good. Okay. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. And this is almost, now it did bleed through just a little bit, but not much. I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to use what I have. I was planning to like, just pick one of these colors and then each brush sort of have its own color. I don't think that's a good idea what I just did, but I don't know until I try, so. Yeah, I don't like that. Alrighty, y'all. I think that is it. Can I just squish this in the water? I don't know if that's going to work in the long run because these are meant to be like, I think like makeup brushes. But I did get this time I got the kind that was meant for card making. It's like, it's so many fibers. I'm going to just rinse it off with water. So there you have it. That's what we have for today. This turned into slop. But the actual stenciling turned out beautifully. And the other page, I'm going to let it dry. and maybe come back and do some mark making. What makes me feel really like confident about maybe salvaging this is this page on the left hand side has quite a bit of writing underneath. So it's sort of like blended it in. And I could probably come back once it dries and put just like a little bit of gesso to sort of mute it out and maybe do one more layer of stuff on top, maybe some stamping or stenciling on this. I think that will kind of make it kind of blend in. What am I going to do with the page where the paint bled through? I honestly have no idea, but what I think I'm going to end up doing is maybe putting like, I have ephemera, I have stamps, I have collage papers that I've made. So I may do something like that. And it would honestly help because these papers are kind of thin. But now I know I'm not going to just stick that blending brush in paint and just do it. I think it will always have to be stenciling, or I'm just getting the excess paint off the way that I sort of did on this edge. And that did much better. But now I know. I also think that right now it looks like that, but I could also do a little bit of like light writing, maybe with a water soluble pencil, like a watercolor pencil. I do also have some, what are they called? Oh, I can't think about it. I'm thinking I could even do those Neocolor 2s, but those won't blend in as much. But maybe go in and use the same color green and maybe do some like asemic writing to sort of blend out the area, and then come back and do something else here to sort of bring the attention there. Who knows? I'm not as creative with that until I get in the moment. I don't have enough experiences that I have a lot to draw from. And that's the part that I'm learning too. But I plan to do some writing. And if I do writing, I think it will make it blend in better. Like bring something that kind of adds a pop. So we shall see. Because even, like this looks really janky. But if I used that same stencil on this side with that deep green, I actually think that would work too. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it dry. Because here, even where I overlapped it some, it still looked good. So maybe even that. And instead of doing it with this darker green, do it with just a regular green so that it'll sort of blend in. And I think that may help. One of the things that I've been wanting to do is sort of play with edges. And so like maybe once I do it, instead of making it seem like it's going vertical this way, maybe do some writing or words going this way to build out. I think that would be pretty cool. And let me know if you have any ideas. But right now, I'm going to just let this sort of sit open on this table so that it can air dry. And, oh, another thing that I want to try on these pages is come back and try acrylic paint. I think acrylic paint will do so much better on these pages because it's thicker and it's not as wet. And I have quite a few acrylic paints that I don't hardly ever use. And so I could just try them out. I mean, because I've quilted these journals and I don't want to lose that, I don't want to go overboard because I want to be able to come back and enjoy flipping through this. So that is something I am going to pay attention to. And then worst case scenario, I could always glue these two pages together and lose this page entirely. And it would also thicken the other side. And then that would make the back side plain. So I have options. I guess I do. I think I made more options than I realized. So yeah, I could. And if I decided to glue these two pages together, like if I take this and I glue these two pages like this, what I could do is on this edge, use some of my like pretty scissors. I bought a whole set of those kid scissors that like are decorative, like wavy or perforated. And what I could do is like cut into this edge so that when I glue it down, this sort of beige paper would show through, like right, and I'll make it right along that edge along with those flowers. And I think that would be pretty. And then on this side I could write, and I could leave this like this, and maybe even just come back through with a color pencil, like a blue and then a green, and sort of put some edges, almost like shadows on these. That would be nice. I feel like I just want to do it, but what I'm going to do, now I know I can fix this ugly, that I can fix this ugly back page. Oh, thank you. Hey, lady. So what I want to do is I want to let it dry and see if I can fix it. And if I can't, I'll just glue it. And now I know I have a plan, right? So, but I do want to be aware of the fact that, you know, this is in a journal that I spent quite a bit of time working on and stitching on. And I want to be able to come back and do things in it later. And so, yeah. I sort of feel like I should have just came through and just put some gesso on some of these other pages so they can dry. And that's why I want a project book. This might be it. I just can't use watercolor. I'll figure it out. I think the stenciling would do good for the pages. Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a good thing. I think the stenciling and playing with the color will make it so that it'll, yeah. Especially if I use that same stencil. But I have a bunch of stencils. I found them one time when I was doing an order on Temu. So I have a bunch of really cute stencils like that. So I could do that. I also have stamps. And again, I have acrylic paint. I don't know. I wonder when this gets wet again if the color will come back. Because see how it's still like on there? I have to clean it, I use water and a makeup brush cleaner. Like this. I just used water. And you can use a little bit of soap, mild soap. When I've done it before, if I really needed to get it clean, I just use a little bit of Dawn. I have the Dawn concentrated. So I'll put a little bit on the pad and then just do like this and get it cleaned up and then rinse it out and then let them air dry. So that's how I clean them. And so, yeah. So there you have it. This page too, I'm sorry. This has these boxes and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I really should use these boxes. Yeah. I'm realizing to do this stuff with paint, you have to be creative. I don't know if I'm that creative. I don't have it in me like that. But the more I learn different techniques, the more I have the details in my mind. And I mean, I made it this far. I made all of these. I made all the pages. I have some gel prints. These pages aren't as pretty as the pages that are in this one. But overall, I'm going to, oh, daggone it. I don't want to close it. I need to let it stay open so it'll dry. I'm going to clip this open and then we're going to bounce. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to thumbs up this video. Let me know what you are working on. I have been coming on every Sunday. I have these clips. These are bookbinding clips. And I just clip them on so that the page stays open. What's really cool is the one where I did the stamping. It's already pretty much dry because the brush absorbed a lot of it. So yeah, I love that. I love it, love it. But I'm going to sit this open and let it air dry on my table. And then I think I'm going to come through. And I'm going to maybe like take and sit and sort of start thinking about, now that I know what these pages can take, maybe make a list of some of the stuff that I want to try on here, like the acrylic. I also have markers. I could use markers, and those may do a little bit better. They may bleed a little bit because they're alcohol markers, but I do have that. I have the stencils. I have stamps, but I realized with the stamps, I don't know if I like them as much in these journals as I do in my planners, because a lot of my stamps, they're small because they're meant to go in my planners. So doing it on this where you're trying to cover a lot of space, I find that I don't like it as much. And then I do have a couple of things if I wanted to try to make like texture, like sponges. I have sort of these sponges. I found that I used them with acrylic before, and I could even try with watercolor. I think the watercolor probably would just absorb too much, but I could do a little bit of acrylic and sort of do some edges or cover over some of the previous writing, and just sort of have a list of techniques that sort of go well with these pages. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If I find that doing these pages is too much thinking, I will go towards my other journal. And I think I showed it at the beginning, which is this one. I think this is what I will probably do in the future. This paper is watercolor paper, and it takes the watercolor well. I've been able to do paintings on the front and the back. And I haven't tried lettering or anything like that, but I may end up getting to the point where I just use watercolor paper all the time. So we'll see. Thank you. Girl, I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like you know how when you know just enough to be dangerous? That's how I feel. Okay, y'all, this is the one that I did earlier. It's dry. It's turned out good. It still feels a little bit damp. Sometimes when I feel the back and it feels a little cool, I know that it's still a little bit wet. So what I'll do is I will put some pages on the bottom and on the top, and then I'll put something heavy on top so that it'll flatten it out. And that's what I'll do with it. I think my actual palette will do it enough because it's so small. The page is really small. I'm just putting my, palette on top just to flatten it. So with that said, your girl is out. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel. My goal is to be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next Sunday, same place, same time. 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And who knows what I'll be working on. What I would like to be working on is starting, I don't want to say just in case I change my mind, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've started reading the instructions for the what is it called? Our Memories crazy quilt the pattern that I got from Missouri Star. And so I think I want to start on that. Oh, thank you. Now that was, listen, now this sounds crazy, but I want to say that was easy. That was just about time. That Tiana blanket was just about time. It was all about time. But because that was just like having a picture and just following the picture. What happens here is that I'm still learning how to get the sort of ideas and pictures in my mind for this type of work. And I don't have a lot of experience with that yet. That's where the difference comes in here. Yeah, I'm putting all these little sponges away. And that's what I'm learning. That it just takes time, you know? And the point is, or at least the point for me, is to find ways to enjoy the process while you're doing it. If you're not having fun, stop. I mean it. I mean, life, like, if you're not having fun doing a hobby, and it doesn't mean that you're not doing stuff that challenges you and that you have to focus and concentrate, of course, but you should still be having fun. And if you're not, stop while you're ahead. If I'm not having fun, I stop. So, awesome sauce. Well, everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining me and adding your comments and participating. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I hope that your time this coming week will be multiplied so that you get an opportunity to do what you need to do and get to do what you want to do. And I will see you all next week. Take care and goodbye.